All right. So, since everybody on YouTube seems to be plaguing me with, or everybody else with the Corona uh, crapola here, I thought I'd do a report on my little county, which is, of course, as most everybody knows, I'm in Citrus County, Florida. And this is about 100 miles north of Tampa. Um, Also, about 100 and I'd say about 120, 130 northwest of Orlando. Um, we're close to Ocala, which Ocala is about 25 miles away, and Gainesville, which is roughly, oh, I'd say maybe 40, 50 miles, maybe, if that. So all these places around us here uh, seem to have, uh, a lot of infection going on, uh, according to what I read on the Florida government, coronavirus site. So I haven't been out of the house really. I did go to the pub on Saturday, and it's not a big place, not a lot of people there. They're usually all the regulars, and I know they don't go anywhere, they don't travel, and what have you. So the flea market there was kind of dead, but not really dead, dead. What you would expect. So anyway, once I'm hooked into the White House on BitChute, which is basically directly from the White House. So I'm getting it from the man himself and the people that are involved with it. That way, I subscribe to the White House on BitChute. So I don't listen to any of the news stations. I don't have TV. So basically, the the thing I want to hear is from him himself instead of the abridged version or altered version by, places like CNN, which pick and choose, and even Fox. I think Fox is probably the best of them right now reporting, but I'd rather hear the whole thing from him. So it seemed like this weekend or last weekend and the beginning of the week was when total panic took over because I went grocery shopping last week, and I noticed on the way the gas prices were dropping. That's not due to the virus, I'm sure. That's due to maybe the stock market and possibly the oil war going on with Saudi Arabia or that king over there, from what I heard. Look, I don't know. Not a news outlet by any means. So, um, you know, the grocery store last week was filled up fine. There was nothing gone, and I think I went Tuesday, Tuesday or Wednesday last week. I can't even remember now. So, the toilet paper, all the cheap toilet paper was gone, and you know, beer was on sale. So, I bought. I actually needed toilet paper, and I bought some of the good soft. Don't chafe your ass paper, and I just needed a one package that lasts me forever, and I wasn't really worried about toilet paper at all, and actually I wasn't worried about much because I'm fairly well prepped here, believe it or not. Um, so because basically, if you're a Floridian and you've lived through enough hurricanes, you kind of year round always have a certain amount of things that help you pre-prep, in case a hurricane should come or whatever, because it gets stupid at that point too. I mean, store shelves empty out, you can't get gas, you can't get anything. So anyway, uh, today, which is what is today? Wednesday, the 18th, right? So I went to vote, and of course, goddamn Florida's all fucked up. I mean, here we got this thing, which, want to make sure here uh, I'm showing you the right thing. So we got, yeah, it's backwards in the camera. Oh well. All right, so we had yesterday the presidential preference primary, which was the 17th, and I wasn't going to go for that. And today was the primary election on the 18th. So I figured, all right, let me go over there. I'll go ahead and, I always have latex gloves because of, if I work on machinery and stuff like that, I have to wear them because my skin gets, it's gotten real bad over the years. So I have to wear them. So I always have latex gloves. So I just threw on a pair of them, went over there, and no voting today. I mean, this is Florida for you. This is from the supervisor of elections in my county. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But anyway, so I noticed gas prices were even lower. And I figured, I could use some gas for the lawnmower, which we've gotten very warm and grass is starting to grow. Everything's happening. So I figured, let me grab that. And while I was out, I figured, well, let me go to the grocery store. I needed to get some dog food. And a couple of rolls, bread, some mashed potatoes, stuff like that, milk, which I wasn't really running out of. I could have used a lot of other things, canned potatoes, stuff like that. And, I just figured I'd go there and see what kind of nonsense is going on at the grocery store. Well, okay, so I get out into traffic, and traffic is normal. I mean, it's, pretty robust, if you want to call it that. Everybody's out and about. The grocery store parking lot, of course, was filled up. Well, I went there around 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., and it was filled up. I went inside expecting, the place to be like robbed. But going in, actually, the shelves were well stocked. Everything in there was perfectly, stocked. The meat was a little low, but for Wednesday, I noticed that the meat for some reason on a Wednesday they just don't stock up very quickly. But in either case, hamburger was there, chicken, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the steaks and the big roasts and stuff. Those were all gone. So I got everything that I wanted. That was there. Ice cream, stuff like that. So no big deal. Nothing was really out that you would call a staple or what have you. I did have to get in the milk. I wanted to check if the beer was still on sale. And yes, Chris Lonsberry, Bud Light, the good beer in Florida. Uh, it was, and now they put a limit on it. Four cases per customer, and they never did that before. So I guess their beer supply is getting wiped out, and the virus. It's kind of like a hurricane party thing, I mean, shit. So anyway, I grabbed three of them just to have them on hand because I do enjoy my beer, and I headed back and around to the paper aisle just to go to the cash register, and the toilet paper is gone. I mean, there isn't a sheet anywhere. It's fucking ridiculous. Of all the shit, you'd think the canned goods, soups, beans, stuff like that, that would be gone. Any of the dry foods would be gone, but no, plenty of that. They're just out of toilet paper. So that's the news, and I did notice that, in my area here, there's predominantly a lot of retired people, older people, and not very much of a young crowd. So I noticed that nobody was paying any attention to the social distancing thing that they're talking about. Where don't get too close. None of them were. I mean, it was, the arrogant old women in there were right bumping into you. They didn't give a shit. I mean, none of them. Uh, of course, it's predominantly women in a grocery store, so that's just the way it is. Um, and Nobody was taking any type of precautions that I could see. Usually, I go to Publix, so they have the little wipes, the sanitation wipes, that right where the carts are, and you can wipe the handle down, which I do every time I go in, because these booger picking kids and everything else, and diaper changing mothers, and you don't want to touch that shit. This is something that I do year round. I mean, it's not because now, but all the wipes were gone. The whole container, everything, the stand, all of that was gone. So I guess they ran out of it, um, which was fine. I had the latex gloves on, and just made sure not to touch my face. Once I got everything out into the truck, I took the truck to get gas too. Um, you know, uh, the gloves came off and went in the garbage. So no big deal there. When I came home and unloaded, I washed my hands. You know, uh, I don't know. Right now, it's not looking like anybody around here is taking it serious at all. Traffic, I've noticed in the mornings that traffic has almost like doubled during the morning commute, uh, the work commute. In the afternoon, it gets a lot lighter, and once the sun starts going down, the traffic is almost spooky. It's gone, like nobody's out, and I think that may be due to our governor closing down a lot of the bars, a lot of the restaurants, and stuff like that. Which I heard on the radio today, he ordered them closed, or if they're going to be open, to fill only to half capacity, which if you're sitting at a bar, I mean, people aren't going to be spacing themselves. You're going to be up against each other. So anyway, that's the news from my little neck of the woods, and you know, hopefully it stays away, and we can get through this. But what I'm seeing out there with the people, how they're acting, what they're doing and what they're not doing, the spread is going to come in here because we are a touristy type place. A lot of people come here to go to the manatee thing, and airboat rides and shit like that, which I'm sure that's dropped off a lot too. But I don't know. Time will tell. Uh, I'm not going into a panic. I'm fine. I'm a single guy. I don't really have to leave the house. I'm retired. Uh, just got to get occasional things like food, which I'm not going to stock up on. Uh, well, I'm not going to use my dry goods stock or whatever right now. If things get worse, I will. But that's uh, that's about it. So yeah, it isn't big city life here where people are really worried, or younger people that are paying attention. And I don't know why these old people, look, I'm one of them. I don't know why they're not paying more attention to being a little bit more preemptive and a little bit more hygienic, or cleaner about what they're doing. So who can tell? Maybe they're all tired of living. I don't blame them. It's kind of a screwed up world. Uh, so if they're trying to kill themselves, they're on a good path. So anyway, that's all I got to say. Just wanted to make this. I'm sure it's not another quick one because I ramble on, but there it is. So all right, everybody. Good luck to you out there. Be good. Be safe. Take care of each other, and all that fun stuff. All right. Bye.